And we are live. Good afternoon or good morning, if it's still good morning where you are. That probably means you're in America land if it's still good morning. I'm just refreshing my group page just to make sure we're live. And we are live, yeah. How fantastic. That is all good news. Well, hello. Good afternoon, good morning. It's great to have you here. Whether you are watching this in the Jonny X Marketing Facebook group, hello. If you're watching this on the Jonny Cooper Global Facebook page, hello. My personal profile, big hello to you if you're one of my Facebook pals. And if you're on LinkedIn, we are streaming this to LinkedIn. And I really do want to do a shout out to the platform we're using here. It is called StreamYard. And StreamYard is a really easy to use, intuitive and very effective multi-streaming platform. So we're going out to all these places. Hi, says Neil. And if you are watching this live, can you give us a hi, say hello, just type the comments in. And by the way, you'll see a little ticker going across the bottom of the screen here. It says streamyard.com/Facebook. And if you haven't done so already and you're watching this on Facebook, you'll need to go there and just authorize StreamYard to display your name to us so that we can actually see who you are. Otherwise, in the comments thread on my screen here, it's going to say Facebook user, which is pretty horrible because I need to know who you are, you see. So, hey, Aoife, hope your holes are going well. I know you're out of the country at the moment, aren't you? Yeah, so great to see you. The topic for today is double your sales the easy way. Who'd like, so somebody's on as a Facebook user. Hi, Johnny, with a thumb. If you go to streamyard.com/Facebook and just click the button on there, it'll show your name after you've authorized it to do so. So, hello, Facebook user, but I'm not sure who you are. Who would like to double their sales? If there was a simple way to double your sales, would you like to know about it? Do you think this would be some useful knowledge, a useful skill, a useful strategy if you had it to actually double your sales? Give us a yay if you fancy doing that. If you want to hear about that, give us a yay in the comments. Give us a hell yes if you really want to hear about it. Because we're going to spend a bit of time doing that over the next half an hour. I thrive on your energy, by the way, so if you don't have a keyboard to hand, why? There might be a way you can just give us a thumb or a heart or something. So we are streaming, as I say, onto LinkedIn. So hello to my LinkedIn guests, as well as all across Facebook land. We've also got a bizarre stream going on Twitter. If you're watching this on Twitter, I'm very keen for you to say hello, because I'm not quite sure why you'd be doing that. It sounds a bit odd. But if you're watching on Twitter, all the better. Right, yeah, so the topic for today, double your sales the easy way. Who fancies hearing about that? Give us a solid yes if you'd like to know how to double your sales in a relatively simple fashion. I'm going to give you a few more little tempting little nuggets that we're going to cover today. For example, supercharging your conversion rates. That sounds good, doesn't it? Supercharging your conversion rates, improving your conversion rates from conversation into sales. That sounds like something we ought to be doing, doesn't it? And thereby filling your calendar with happy clients. Filling your calendar with happy clients. Can you imagine that? It's a great idea, isn't it? I also said in a little preamble, opening the door to exponential abundance. We like using these flowery phrases. Why? Because that's what gets people's attention, isn't it? If you use vanilla language, plain language, and Neil Stringer's an expert at using emotive language. But if you use plain vanilla language, you're not going to attract people. They're not going to stop them in their tracks if it just looks like something they've read before. So thereby we say things like open the door to exponential abundance. I could have just said there, couldn't I? You know, get more clients, make some more money, you know, that kind of thing. Whereas filling your calendar with happy clients paints a very robust picture, doesn't it? It's a very visual image, that, isn't it? You can imagine your calendar filled, not just clients, but with happy clients. We're all going, yay, we love it. So wherever you can, and this, by the way, is just a bit of preamble. It's not the core of the training today, but we've landed on this and it's useful, I think. In everything you do, be as emotive as you can be. Put some emotion into it. Put your back into it. Act like this is important to you. This is exciting to you. And your clients will feel that, won't they, too? Your clients will vibe off your enthusiasm. And they'll feel that, you know, being here today, right now, in your world, working with you, is the right thing to do because they're excited by it. Supercharging your conversion rates. We could have just said, improve your conversion rates, couldn't we? We could have said, just get better at selling, but supercharging your conversion rates, that's a partly visual, but also, you know, very deep sort of metaphorical image. We kind of know what that means. So if you want something to go up, you don't just say, you know, get your sales going up. You can say, rocket your sales. All that kind of thing. I'm sure Neil's got something to add here. Drop a couple of little useful little insights in there, Neil, because you use emotive language all the time. Neil is an expert copywriter, by the way. Your vibe attracts your tribe, says Raj. Yeah, I think it's more than that. I think, you know, clearly we need to speak their language, don't we, and vibe with them. But the baseline, the starting point has to be, you know, expunging vanilla language from your vernacular. There's some words. Vernacular, expunging, eliminating, wiping out, decimating, you know, destroying the old vanilla plain you. I'm just going to say a few more words on this before we get into the meat of today. Because by developing your own emotive style of writing and speaking, what you're doing then is you're becoming different to other people around you. Because most people around us are not very good at this. Most posts you read either leave you cold or just get you bored a little bit and you don't read all the way through them, right? So most people are not very good at this. And I've said this for a while now, that different is better than better. Write this down if you've got a pen and paper, because this is an important little mantra for you to take forward into the weekend and beyond. Different is better than better. And if you just strive to be better than other practitioners in your field, you know, doing potentially a similar thing to you, that's a tough gig. And the other thing about being different is that different is visible, different is obvious. People can see when you're different, but they can't necessarily see that you're better, can they? They can't necessarily see that you're better from the outside. That's something that goes on when you start working with them, isn't it? So strive to be different, strive to be emotive. You know, use your own rich, colourful, exciting language. And that way you'll get people on board. Some of you here today, I'm sure, on the basis of the thing that you read earlier that I, you know, just put together about this, just to get some excitement going. Different is better than better, says Raj. Expunging vanilla from your vernacular. Thank you. I'll have to have a dictionary handy next time. Yeah, exactly. Clients want results, not flowers. Yes, you are correct, Ale Interpretations. Clients want results, not flowers. But of course, they're not going to get a chance to get results from you if they're not drawn to you in the first place, are they? So absolutely, they want results. Now, I'm not talking about using fluff in your delivery and just giving them all fizz and no pop. When you're delivering, absolutely, you want to get results. That's what they want. But they're not even going to take those steps towards you and enroll themselves as enthusiastic paying clients unless you excite them and invigorate them, you know, from minute one. So that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about marketing rather than delivery. But you are right, yeah, clients want results, don't they? Neil says, my copy gives you offer product or offer. Oh, I see. Gives you offer or product a megaphone. Yeah, there you go. Oh, it's 10 p.m. and my brain is dead, says Neil. Bless. Neil's in Vietnam. I was watching this from Vietnam. Can you believe it? When nothing in your business is going right, be different and go left. There you go. Makes sense. Gina says hi and hi. Yeah. I've just realised actually I can make this even more exciting, even more multi-dimensional, and show some of these comments. Raj just recited something that I said earlier. Expunging vanilla from your vernacular. I don't know how I come up with this thing. It's crazy. Don't make any sense, does it? Another one from Raj. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Yeah, and I said earlier, filling my calendar with happy clients. So look, should we get on with this? Would you like to know what all this is about today and how we can double our sales? So today, because, this is a Thank Flip, it's Friday session, this is not a traditional strategy training session necessarily. What I want to do in these sessions is flip your thinking. So change the way you approach something by some degrees, hopefully 180. 180 is a good flip, isn't it? Because that's turning it around completely. By the way, have you ever come across somebody who says, I'm going to flip this through 360? That doesn't make any sense. Because if you flip something through 360, you're back where you started, aren't you? It's like going down a racetrack. You end up back at the finish line where you were before. So we're going to flip it through 180 at best, I promise you. No more than that. Probably not as much as that, but let's see. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip your thinking about sales. So fingers on keyboards. We'll do a little poll here, right? A little bit of insight. Let's get your answer to this question. When you are in a conversation with someone, do you feel under pressure to make a sale, either from a financial point of view or an ego point of view, general success-driven point of view? How much pressure do you feel you're under? Just drop a little comment there. Give us a yay if you feel under pressure, if you feel like typing a little bit more about the type of pressure you feel, how much pressure you feel. Do you feel a pressure on your shoulders, a weight on your shoulders that a sale has to be made? You have to make a sale to this person. Open up a bit and be honest about this. If you're watching this live, as I say, fingers on keyboards, tell us how you feel when you're making a sales call. What is that gut emotion when you're in a conversation with someone who may well become an ideal client? They're an ideal prospect at this point. What do you feel? So Neil says, I want them to buy, not me to sell. Yeah, I like that one. In fact, let's just put this on the screen. So I want them to buy, not me to sell, says Neil Stringer. Yeah. Donna makes a good point. I feel the need to get them engaged and curious to continue. That's a nice one. I like that. Let's have some more thoughts about how you feel when you're in a sales conversation with someone who looks like your next ideal client. How does that make you feel? What's your primary emotion at the point when you're talking with them? Let's have some more thoughts on this. Perhaps you feel under pressure to make a sale. Perhaps you feel some fear. What if? What if they don't buy? Yeah, so Gina says, I do feel pressure if it's my intention to sell. Let's do this one. We got another nice one here. I do feel pressure if that's my intention. Okay, that's fine. AL, by the way, I always feel a bit guilty here. Well, it's not entirely my fault, this. You told me your name before. I've forgotten your first name. What is your first name? Did you say Alicia, maybe? I don't know. I'd love to address you by your name, but I've forgotten what you said. Matter of fact works best for me. Yeah, so Neil there is presenting. Yeah, Lacey, that's right. I'd forgotten that. I had a list here in my mind, so I wasn't far off, was I? You know, it's almost an anagram. So Lacey, I'll remember that next time. Thank you. Right, so we've got some interesting ideas here, haven't we? I just want to home in on this one and pick this as an example, because I'd imagine that some of you who haven't stepped up and typed a response here probably feel the same. Just before I open up on what Gina said there, let me just show you Mimi's. I feel fear as I'm never sure they will truly feel the value. Then I'm delightfully surprised that they always do. I bet they do, Mimi, because Mimi's absolutely wonderful. Mimi is one of our VIP clients. Mimi's coming to Arizona in October to be part of our VIP Mastermind event in AZ in the fall. We can't wait to meet you, Mimi. But that's fantastic, isn't it? Let me just go back to this, because I think we can use this, as a kind of model statement to move forward. And if you feel like this, it is no surprise, and there's certainly no shame in it. It's completely understandable that you feel eek, in some kind of performance. But let me tell you now, let's get into the heart of this 180 flip. You can, with a few simple mindset hacks, remove the pressure, remove any feelings of pressure, any feeling that you have to make a sale to this particular person. So I'm going to start with one really important thing. And again, if you've got a pen and paper, you might want to write this down. This is a kind of mantra, if you like. And the mantra is as follows. There is never a client-shaped hole in your business that only they can fill. 3 parts to that. There's never a client-shaped hole in your business. 2 parts, actually. That only they can fill. There is never a client-shaped hole in your business that only they can fill. Now, clearly, you have to make some sales. You have to enroll some clients, otherwise you don't have a business. But in any specific instance, when you're with a prospect, you don't need to make that sale. So take the pressure off. What will happen is always, for you, either a positive or at worst a neutral outcome, isn't it? Because if you do enroll somebody on that particular call, that's happy days, isn't it? It's a positive outcome for you and of course for them. We'll cover their side in a minute. Just looking at it from your side. A positive outcome is making a sale, isn't it? If you don't make a sale, that is not in any way a negative outcome. It's a neutral outcome. In that, you're no worse off than you were to start with. So you can't lose a sale, can you? You didn't have it in the first place. So you have, at worst, a neutral outcome. You're in the same position as you were before the call. However, there'll always be some tangible benefit. If you're prepared to learn and listen and learn and record, either in the memory banks or literally record a conversation or write some notes down, then you will always learn from every interaction you have with a potential client. And if you're curious enough to find out why they're feeling like they're feeling, why they didn't buy, why they didn't want to step over that line and make that leap into your world from the world they're in, you can learn from those answers, can't you? So treat every conversation primarily, number one, as a learning experience. If they come on board as a client from those conversations, it's happy days, isn't it? It's a bonus. But there is never a negative outcome for you from those client conversations, those enrollment conversations. It's only ever neutral. Are we all clear on that? Is that making sense? Give us a yes if that makes sense. You haven't lost a sale. You've had a conversation with someone who hasn't become a client yet. Let's have a little bit more from Lacey. Lacey tries to rein in my groupie and make everything a big production, as I want people to see what I see in them. Yeah, that sounds interesting, doesn't it? That sounds interesting. Suddenly, I suppose you will. Suddenly, it's bigger because their client-shaped hole has disappeared. Suddenly, I suppose you will. Right. I think I understand what you're saying, Gene. I don't know whether you want to add anything qualifying to that, but as Gina says, a lack of sales, if you like, or the position you're in today, having made sales in the past and looking to make sales in the future, that doesn't involve a position of lack at all, does it? It involves a position of potential, of excitement and abundance and wealth for the future. But it doesn't put you today in a position of lack. If you start a conversation with the thought in your mind that I need this person to come on as a client, if you think that if they don't sign up, I can't pay my bills or whatever, let me tell you, that makes it exponentially less likely that they're going to join you as a client. Because we can smell desperation, can't we? That's innate in us. We can tell when somebody wants us to buy something for their own reasons. So that is no way to behave at all. And if you can get it in your mind that there is never a client-shaped hole in your business that only they can fill, that is a wonderful starting point. And I think we're going to flip your sales mindset to that 180 goal, by degrees. That's probably a 90-degree flip to start with. So we're all happy with that. Let's have a look at one or two other comments that are coming up. Gina says, that came out a bit discombobulated. I agree, lol, Gina. Try again. Let's have a look. Hello, Ian. It's lovely to see you. I think it's the first time you've been on one of these sessions, and great to have you here. This seems to fit into us looking at continuous improvement. It really does, doesn't it? Because what we just discovered earlier, of course, is that, the at worst neutral outcome is that you're in the same position as you were before. But if you enter every conversation in the spirit of learning and discovery and adventure and curiosity, you're going to learn from every conversation, aren't you? You are going to learn. So that you will be more equipped next time to serve your client more deeply, or your prospect more deeply, and make it as frictionless as possible to get them over the line. Okay, I'm going to give you another little bit of this flip so we can get to this 180-degree flip in your sales mindset. It is as follows. We've looked at the outcome potential for you. So clearly, if they come over the line and step into your garden, step over the little fence, as I often think of it, they come into your garden as a paying client, you've opened this wonderful relationship with them. They become a paying client. From their point of view, put yourself in their shoes. There is a hugely positive outcome to that, isn't there? Because they stand to gain a lifetime of transformation from it. Compare that with what you're gaining. Let's look at the balance here, the value exchange. You're all good at what you do. I'm looking down the thread here, and I know some of you really well. The rest of you, I can just assume that you're all good at what you do. So any client who pays you, who enrolls in your program and joins your tribe, they're going to get a lifetime of transformational benefit from you. If somebody works with Neil Stringer, they're going to learn how to be a brilliant copywriter. That's going to equip them to face the world and conquer the world, isn't it? If somebody works with Mimi, they're going to get their whole attitude to life changed. They're going to open the door into a world of exponential abundance. But on our side, when we get somebody on board, what do we get? We get paid once. We get paid once. And as much as we build thriving businesses, we spend the money that comes in, don't we? We spend it on something. We either reinvest it in the business, or we draw it out and pay ourselves and buy some groceries and go on holiday with it and pay the car lease or whatever we're doing with it. So the money that we get from a client enrollment, it's gone pretty soon, isn't it? It's a one-off payment. And then we need to earn some more money. We want to earn some more money, keep it flowing. But for our individual clients, just think about this, folks. they're going to get a lifetime of transformation and benefit from working with us. So what this means, guys, let's move the needle on this flip now. They have got so much more to gain from working with you than you are from working with them. And if we look at the other side of that same coin, they've got so much more to lose if they don't come on board. All you miss out on is the chance to earn a one-off fee, some money from them. What they stand to gain is this lifetime benefit. So if they don't do that, what could happen to them? Let's have a think. Number one, they could stay exactly where they are. They could get no better than they are at whatever the problem is that they've got. It's not going to be solved, is it? Potentially it could get even worse. Because what happens to a problem if you don't address it? It gets worse, doesn't it? Just thinking about Neil's business here, because Neil's appearing in the thread. If you're a rubbish copywriter and you make a decision not to work with Neil, or you don't make a decision to work with Neil, you're going to carry on writing rubbish copy, isn't it? Aren't you? Your business is going to go downhill because nobody's going to engage with you, right? So from the potential client's point of view, if they decide not to work with you, there's a big potential problem there, isn't there? They're going to get no better, and they might even get worse at whatever their big expensive problem is. The other thing that might happen if they don't enroll with you, and check this out, you're going to love this one, so they could spend money working with somebody else who's not as good at you as you. There's a lot of practitioners out there, we see them every day, don't we, who are spectacularly bad at what they do. There's other mediocre and average practitioners. That's not you guys, is it? That's not you. But a lot of people are really poor at what they do. They don't give value. They don't deliver. We hear these stories all the time about, clients of ours who spent thousands on some rubbish course that did nothing for them. So you want to try and save your prospects from that fate, don't you? So what we've got to hear is that, look, in this enrolment conversation, this sales situation, number one, they've got more to gain from it than you have. You just get the one-off payment. They get a lifetime of benefit. Secondly, and corresponding with that, they got more to lose if they don't do it. There's all kinds of fresh hell that they could encounter if they don't work with you. They could try and sort it out themselves. They could just leave themselves mired in this horrible situation they're in. Is that making sense? How is that feeling? Lost opportunity cost, says Neil. Yeah, brilliant. Let's just circle back. Gina's got desperation, so off-putting. Raj seems to agree with that about desperation. They can sense it. Yes, indeed, they can. We've got one more nice little flip, which I think you will like. And this is really, really, really going to help your mental approach, I think. And it is as follows. We have to accept in all our client situations that there will be a conversion rate. We're never going to sell to everybody that we talk to. But we're going to make that better by just relaxing into it and treating each conversation as an opportunity to help someone, to discover more about them. And this spirit is what I've called hard helping. And this is the antithesis to hard selling. So when we train our clients in our CAB program or in the academy, we move you away from a mindset of having to sell things to people for all the reasons that we've already talked about today. And certainly move you away from any idea of hard selling. Hard selling suggests that not only are you being hard on them, which is a horrible thing to do, but it also suggests it's hard for you. It's a hard job. We don't want to do that, do we? So if you can do anything at all using that hard word, hard helping is the framing. So if you've got a pen and paper, just write down those 2 words, hard helping. This is going to help. This is going to help you. Hard helping means that when you're with someone who you genuinely feel you can help, whose life you feel would be enhanced, nay, transformed by working with you, then we should be, to honour them as people that we already like, we should be going out of our way to make it as easy as possible for them to join our program. And we do this in the spirit of hard helping. This means making it as frictionless as possible for them to enroll. Lay out in front of them everything they might want to know and understand and appreciate in order that they become clients. Make the payment process as frictionless as possible. Ask them, taking money off the table, is this something you want to do straight away? Yep. Fine. Which card do you want to use? Have your payment portal open on your device, on another screen or on another tab, so that you can get the money conversation out of the way and get it all sorted. This is all in the spirit of hard helping, working as hard as you can to help these people. Help these people jump over that fence into your garden so that you can work with them. You can't help them at all if they're not on board as a paying client, can you? So once you get this spirit in your mind and you think, I'm a hard helper, I'm not a hard seller. I'm a help person, not a salesperson. I'm here to help. Once you get that embedded in your psyche, in your everyday behavior, and you show up every day in every way in the spirit of hard helping, then you are going to make more sales. You will make more sales. I promise you. Hard helping, says David. Gina Mendoza, this is wonderful to hear. That phrase of yours made complete sense as well. So well done. No more discombobulation. I just want to go back to something Ian said. That's the railway. That's not the bell for the end of this. We'll spend another 5 minutes together. This seems to fit into looking at continuous improvement. Absolutely. Can we just talk about improvement just for a moment? Because I want to do this. Let's say you have a business on which you are spending £1,000 a month. Let's say you tot up your office costs. If it's a home office, the energy, the light, the heat. You look at the cost for your computer, your IT, depreciation, replacing that at some point in the future. You look at your software costs, things like Zoom and your Calendly and all this sort of stuff. You'll be surprised, and especially if you've got a VA in tow, somebody who's helping you. It's hard to run a business like this for less than high hundreds, maybe £1,000 a month, right? So let's say you are making 1 sale a month of a £2,000 program. And in order to do that, you have 4 sales calls. So you're converting at 1 in 4 to 25% of the conversations you have make a sale for £2,000. So you've made a £1,000 profit on that basis, haven't you? You've made a £1,000 profit. Let's say that you get better at performing in your sales conversations using the stuff that we talked about today, relaxing into it, hard helping, regarding the value balance in their favour. They've got more to gain than you have. Understanding that there's never a client-shaped hole in your business. So you get better at it. And let's say as a result of that, you're able to convert 2 sales out of your 4 sales calls. In other words, you've doubled your conversion rate. So you've now got a revenue of £4,000, haven't you, instead of 2. But you know what? Your costs are still £1,000. So what happens there? You're making 3 times as much money, as much profit, just by getting incrementally better at sales calls, converting 2 out of 4 instead of 1 out of 4. You're earning 3 times as much money. Your costs don't go up. You don't even have to make any more effort. You don't have to have any more conversations. You don't have to post any more in social media. You don't have to tap anybody else on the shoulder and book any more calls. You don't have to get any more engagement. You don't have to do any more tripwires and publish any more ebooks and all that kind of malarkey. All you have to do is get a little bit better at sales. In that example I gave you, selling £4,000 instead of £2,000 with a £1,000 cost base, you've made 3 times more money, haven't you? You've made 3 times as much profit. How does that sound? Is that something you feel you could do using this simple process that we talked about today? Give us a hell yeah if you're up for doing that in the next week, trying it out on your next sales call and the one after that. Relax into it, understand this. Give it a hell yeah if you're prepared to do this. Relax into it, understand there's no client shaped whole new business. They've got more to gain and therefore more to lose from the conversation than you have. Approach every conversation as a learning experience. If you get somebody on board, it's a bonus. If you don't, you can still learn from it. Give us a yeah if that makes sense. Let's have a wrap up. Hey, got some good ones here. So we've got some hell yays. Hell yay. Yep. Thank you. Hell yay. Hell yay, Gina. And does helping replace the word marketing? I think it could, couldn't it? Helping replaces the word selling. Remember we said earlier, if you just joined, we talked about replacing the idea of hard selling with hard helping. Approach every conversation from a point of loving curiosity, if you like. How can I help this person? Yeah, I mean, it was Seth Godin who said the definition of marketing is helping someone solve their big problem, their biggest problem. The generous act, he said, actually, the generous act of helping someone solve a problem. The whole thing's about helping people, isn't it? How can I help? Just think about that. How can I help? Well, look, I hope this has been useful. This recording is going to sit in the Jonny Marketing group. It'll be there on my Facebook page as well as on LinkedIn if you're watching us from LinkedIn. Hello. So you can check back over it if you want any bits and pieces from it. There's literally no sell from today, other than to say this: if you're not already in the Jonny Marketing Facebook group and you're watching this, for goodness sake, join the group. Join the JHM Facebook group. Jonny Marketing on Facebook. If you're not on Facebook right now, go in there, send us a request to join, and we will let you in. There is another, thankfully, it's Friday live session next week. I will be in Marbella on the south coast of Spain, but we will be doing a session. I haven't decided what it's going to be yet, but it's going to be equally as good. I hope we've been able today to flip your sales mindset through 180 from a position of need, of want, of desperation, of got to make this sale, of fear, oh my God, I need to do this, into a position of exponential abundance where you're just thinking, do you know what? If I can help this person, I can help them. And wouldn't it be wonderful? It would be wonderful if they came on board. And it will be wonderful because they will come on board, I promise you. Enjoy yourself. Try all this stuff next time we're in a conversation. I'll see you next week. Love you lots. Bye for now.